Whistleblowers and reformers are treated as the enemy from the point of view of those against whom they're whistleblowing. Why? Because the people that the whistleblowers are whistleblowing against are already corrupt. For them to be corrupt means they had to be extremely selfish to begin with, which means they had to be extremely self-biased, which means their mind had to distort reality, which means that now when that highly self-biased, self-deceived, distorted mind looks at the whistleblower, what it sees in the whistleblower is not somebody who's doing good by reforming the system. It sees a devil. That is the very projection of the devil who did the corruption onto the angel who's pointing out the devilry. See how twisted this gets? A corrupt mind will project its own corruption onto those who seek to clean up the corruption. So if I stand up and I start to point out all the legitimate limitations and problems with the paradigm of science, for example, I will be denounced and demonized and attacked by the most reputable scientists. Of course, it must work this way. Because if they were conscious enough not to do this, not to project on me, they would already be conscious enough to realize those things that I'm trying to point out. The reason I need to point them out is precisely because the people I'm pointing them out to can't see it. It's a problem of can't see it, can't see it, can't see it. That's what the whole awareness and consciousness raising is all about. It's helping you to see things you couldn't have otherwise seen. A devil hates it when his devilry is called out by its name, because what a devil needs to do in order to be an effective devil is he needs to act like what he's doing is not devilry, but that it's good. And so he convinces himself and he convinces everyone around him. He creates an ideology where collectively we come together as humans. We create an ideology that, hey, what we're doing is good. Like if you go inside the corporate culture of ExxonMobil, what is their attitude towards global warming inside the upper management of ExxonMobil? They've created over the last 50 years in order to survive as a company, because they couldn't exist unless they did this. They had to create an ideology, a collective corporate culture had to be created specifically tailored to the needs of ExxonMobil, which explains away the greenhouse gas emissions and the pollution, all this, and the oil spills and how this is destroying the environment. Explains all that away as, oh, well, they have a whole list of explanations. These have been so ingrained or so absorbed, let's say, it's a better word, this ideology has been so absorbed by the people who work in that organization that it's not even recognized by them. It's not that they sat down one day, some evil CEO sat down and he said, okay, here's a bullet-pointed list of all the things that we're going to say in order to trick ourselves into believing that we're not hurting the environment and other human beings. He never sat down and said that. His mind did it for him automatically. This is just what it means to be a human. This is what it means to survive. If your mind didn't do this, you'd be dead a long time ago. All right. So you're really good at doing this. You're so good at doing this, you don't know you're doing it. Such that the CEO of ExxonMobil could be sitting here listening to this episode right now. I could be speaking directly to you. And I could be explaining all of this, and you could be sitting there nodding your head and agreeing with all of it. And you could say, yes, 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 Leo, I want to reform society. There's so much corruption in the world, all this, but you will still not admit your own corruption and the role that you play. You will just skip over that. Conveniently, your mind will just excuse it away. Even though I could call you out by name, your mind will still skip over this part. The last 5 minutes I've been talking, your mind will just erase all that, and you will just agree with everything else I said and keep doing the devilry you've been doing. Because that's what you need to do in order to keep working in that company. Because if you really understood what I'm talking about here and you really understood the role that you play there, you'd have to quit. How would you feed your kids after that? How would you live with yourself?